This episode basically means be careful for what you wish for. And I can see a lot of this episode being kind of influenced by social media, which is a good thing and kind of a bad thing, but I think it highlights a lot of the negative ways of social media through likes, favorite comments, and stuff like that. And I kind of really want to talk about this episode. So this episode, the Rangers get wishes that come with a price. As I said, this does focus a lot on social media and and the ways that it can be daunting. Now, a main person in this is Pete Flash, who seems to be a giant big star in the world of the Dino Fury kind of timeline. And I'm okay with this. I just kind of wish that you heard more about him. Maybe he's mentioned once or twice in one of the previous episodes, but it just seems like all these people that come along like, oh my god, Pete Flash, he's the biggest thing. You kind of don't know anything about them. At the very beginning of this episode is Ion telling everybody to like, favorite, comment, and subscribe to Javi, or mainly the whole like and watch and share and stuff like that. And everyone's like, we know, because Javi for around about a week has been saying, hey, look, I've done a cover. Now, one thing I would kind of like, because it just feels weird that they've only shot a couple of scenes, would be if they actually did a whole music video and we get this kind of at the very end, or maybe like on a bonus if they do DVDs or Blu-rays. I hope they do. Anyway, off topic. But kind of seeing this reminds me of how every single person on YouTube or an influencer turns around and says, oh, if you just want to like, favorite, and share my posts. Also, let's do what Ion's been telling everyone. If you like this video, like, favorite, comment, and subscribe to the channel. Anyway, that's how I kind of saw it kind of going around. The main bad guy in this episode is Hexacuro. I think I said his name right, but Hexacuro, basically you can grant any wish that you wish for, but it comes at a price, and we see this much later on in the episode. So when everyone's like, oh, I wish for this, or I wish for that, like Mucus, she wishes for a hat, a better hat than Hexacuro, and the kind of curse for her would be to turn into a human form. Now, when I kind of watched this, I was like, is that the same voice actress? So when I looked at the credits, I was like, oh yes. So I'm very kind of glad with that. I'm glad that they didn't just get someone in and it was someone else and they had to dub over. So I really like seeing this. This makes things extra special. So I'm hoping that we see a little bit more of this in like Cosmic Fury or something. I think with Ollie, he's still in this sort of kind of his old ways. Now he knows that things happen, like, wishes happen, powers happen, but kind of seeing this and Ollie kind of going around, this is all fake, this doesn't matter, I feel is a little bit different. To me, it just feels a little bit off, but it just shows that his character isn't evolving a little bit. It's just kind of, they're stuck in their way. And I know that you can't always change, but you kind of think there'd be a little bit more kind of understanding. Hence, you turn into Power Rangers, you know there's mystical beings, you've seen life-altering events, and you're still kind of going, wishes don't exist. It's just mind-blowing to me. I think in this entire episode, what gets me is Javi's entire kind of change of, he's more focused on his career than helping people. So obviously when wishes happen and Javi's got over 1 million views because that's what he wishes for, and success, where Amelia wishes to see her parents, and obviously Ollie wishes to get a hug from his mum because obviously she's in Japan. Now, one thing that just kind of gets me on this is the fact that Javi completely changes. So when all these wishes by Amelia's kind of happen, it just makes Javi sound like a massive douche, where he's like, oh, I don't want the curse to be broken because I'd lose my chance. It's like, no, hard work, you're a complete musician, that you're so talented, but kind of seeing this really kind of makes me go, I don't kind of like Javi for this sort of character, and it kind of like anything good in a way kind of makes me go, oh, is this him? Where previously he's not been like this. I'm a bit kind of weirded out by it, but he's more focused on online success, and again, I can see how that translates into what people want to be on, in this world, in the real life compared to a TV show. So seeing him go like, oh, I don't want to break the curse, can you guys go deal with it? Could we wait until my big break is over? I really don't like this about the character, and it kind of makes him go down a little bit in my eyes. I just don't like this from him. I understand to some degree, but it just makes the character a little bit unlikable in my eyes. Some of the best scenes now is coming with Wreckmate, because obviously the Rangers have gone back downtown to kind of ask more questions because it's too good to be true for these wishes. So seeing Wreckmate kind of turn up, and the bad guys just absolutely own the Rangers for a little bit. So when everyone gets turned into different things, so you get Ollie gets turned into one of the Hasbro really bad toy figures, then you get Amelia who turns into a 12-year-old, and Izzy turns into Terramigo, or the was it the T-Rex Champion Zord. But seeing the Terramigo suit, I absolutely love this. This is the one thing that I kind of geeked out on because I thought that they would never use it. They have it, and they can't use it due to the fact of how it works or how the actor would be inside it, or the stuntman. But I really like the fact that for at least one episode that we get Terramigo, and this is something that I generally didn't think that we'd get. But with all of this, there are certain things, and one thing the Rangers always have is a magical cure to get out. Oh, this happens, here's a key. This happens, here's a key. So when they pull out the light key to reverse all this magic that's gone on, it gets destroyed by Void Queen, which I generally was like, holy crap, that's absolutely amazing. It's nice that the bad guys are just targeting these things that they have, that the Rangers have to help them. So I like seeing this. It just made it a bit more, well, you're going to have to destroy the monster than just kind of wishing yourself out of this. Another good thing is with the Wreckmate fight is obviously the Rangers are morphed. They actually try to use their keys to power up, but Wreckmate actually stops it mid-using or when they're about to use it. And you don't see this at all. You never see this sort of thing, which again really makes it kind of worthwhile in my eyes. I really like seeing this because again, the Rangers aren't always winning. It's not, here's our power, and the bad guy just waits around and is like, oh, are you done? No. So I love this. I love the fact that they're using this, incorporating this, and I would love to see this a lot more in, like, say, Cosmic Fury, as well as like future seasons. So please keep this up because this is what I like. You know, I like seeing the Rangers at a disadvantage rather than always winning. I think one of the best scenes in this is definitely Sauron coming out on the bike and attacking. You don't normally see these sorts of things. Normally it's like, I'll stick at the base or I'll send the bike on its own. But seeing her ride this, I absolutely freaking loved it because again, these are kind of firsts that we're seeing for the first time, hence first time, but I love it. I want to see more of this little things happening within the series. I would never have thought Sauron would have got on that bike, screamed out the attack, and then just kind of like just joined the battle. So I love this. This is what makes me happy within the series. Now with back at the base and having Javi learn about if Hexacuro is destroyed, then all their stuff, like all their fame, all their wishes kind of get erased like it normally does. Just seeing him like this really got to me, like him not actually taking in consideration the fact that his sister is Terramigo, and like the fact that Amelia is a 12-year-old and it's one of his probably closest friends is an action figure. It really gets to me seeing that he was really selfish. It's like, oh, you've got really bad problems, I've got a really good thing. So I'm kind of like gonna go with that. That really does kind of irritate me because again, you think that he wouldn't want his friends to be in this way. He'd want his friends to be back to normal. But just seeing this really made me dislike the character quite a lot. And I just didn't care. If he lost everything in that thing, I wouldn't have been like, oh. I'd have been like, all right, cool. You're a douche in this, a complete douche. We get kind of a hallway scene from the CW, which I kind of like because I think this is the way that I think the show should have had like kind of add in, because it seems a bit more to it. Maybe I just like some of the CW stuff in The Flash, but seeing like Ollie's mom turn around and say, look, you know, this is what happened to me in my career. It's not the best right now. So seeing that kind of like made me go, oh, that's awesome. I kind of want that. I want that to happen in the series because I feel like you kind of connect more to the kind of characters. Now, Mucus being sneaky is something never really seen of her much. Like, not sneaky as in like, oh, she's tiptoeing around, but telling all the guys to go down and fight Hexacuro as well as Slifer to actually use their abilities to go fight, and then obviously she knows that the Hexacuro is going to die, so therefore Mucus is really happy. So I kind of like this. Like, she's like, oh, I don't want to be a human, like this is horrible. So I kind of like this, and I think that when she would have turned back, if Void Queen would have destroyed her or like zapped her, she would have kind of brought back. But I think there is only one scene in this entire fight that really irks me a tiny bit, And that's when I think it's Zato or that kind of... No, it's when Teramigo attacks Slifer and he goes off to the side. And then the next scene is he goes off to the side. It's like he should have broken through the door or the wall or something. But it's the way that it's cut. It just, to me, it doesn't flow naturally because there's no way through. If it'd gone through the door, so like they'd attacked and he'd been pushed back, I think that would have worked well. But again, that's probably the Japanese footage. But it's just, to me, it didn't sit well. And I think this is the only time in Dino Fury which I've not liked that part where I've gone, oh, this kind of pulls me out the story a little bit. But again, all the fighting, using Teramigo's suit, using everything like that, I generally kind of really liked. It's a nice part to the actual episode and fits in really, really well. At the very end, Javi kind of explains himself. He's lost 1 million views because of whatever reason. And the main guy, Pete, has come in. He's meant to kind of do a duet, but it's like, oh my god, like, you're a fraud because you've taken down like 1 million views. And Javi has to explain. And it's like, okay, cool, let's sing together. And then they do. I generally wasn't put off by this, but part of me was just like, I don't kind of want to see this because, again, the way that Javi's been, I'm not that interested in what's happened. It just, to me, it just feels like it's an moment all along. But again, I'm not too keen on this. I feel like this episode is a bit meh in my eyes. I feel like if you didn't have the good parts, this episode would pretty much be a filler episode and all around Javi and the way that he is. But obviously with some of the wishes, Teramigo, as well as some of the cutscenes and the fighting scenes, I generally really liked, so it kind of makes up for it. But the fact this episode to me wasn't much on the radar just showed I was like, I really can't be arsed. And if I wasn't watching for what happened with the rest of the things going in, I generally just would have switched off on this one. But yeah, it's not the best. Let's talk about the next episode, which is coming up soon. But yeah, that's all. It's an okay-ish episode. There are some good points, and there's, I think, quite a lot of bad points in this. But I'm going to leave there. What are your thoughts? Did you like this episode? Did you not? Let me know down below in the comments. And as always, thanks for watching. Like, favorite, comment, and subscribe. And I will catch you later.
チャンネルをサポートしてくれてありがとうございます。チャンネル登録、高評価お願いします。以下のリンクから商品を入手することができます。